Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay, thank you. In the previous class, we have stopped at topic on composite parallel plate capacitor. This was a discussion that we did at the end of the previous class, and we have arrived at the equation for the composite parallel plate capacitor as C is equal to, or C1 is equal to E divided by C is equal to E divided by effective capacitance or total capacitance is E divided by D1 by epsilon 1 plus D2 by epsilon 2 plus D3 by epsilon 3 and so on up till Dn by epsilon n. Okay, this was the derivation. And here, while deriving, we have considered a dielectric interface parallel to the conducting plates. Dielectric interface is parallel. This interface dielectric boundary, it is parallel to the plates, parallel to the conducting plates. But in the next derivation that we are going for, we are considering the dielectric boundary perpendicular to the plates. Okay, we'll see that. That is the difference between the previous derivation that we have done and the one we are right now doing. Dielectric boundary normal to the plates. Let us derive the equation for the dielectric boundary normal to the plates. Again, consider the composite capacitor. Composite capacitor means in a capacitor there are more than one dielectric medium, and hence it is called as composite capacitor or composite parallel capacitor, in which dielectric boundary is normal to the conducting plates. This is the dielectric boundary here. So there are two plates like this. This is one plate A1. This is another plate A2. They are split into equal parts A1 and A2. Right. In between there is a boundary. In between there is a boundary between A1 and A2. On this side there is A1. If you consider this as A1, this as A2. One as A1, another one as A2. Then in between we have the boundary between the two plates. Okay. And this dielectric boundary, it is perpendicular to these plates. It is in between. So it is perpendicular to this. This is the one plate. If I take it as A1, then another plate is A2. Again, the dielectric boundary is also perpendicular to A2 plate also. Yes. The total potential across the two plates is V, and distance between the plates is D. The total potential between the two plates, A1 and A2, the potential difference or the potential is V volts, and the distance between them is D, small d. Hence, magnitude of electric field intensity. If we know the potential and if we know the distance between the two plates, then we'll be able to calculate the electric field intensity with the formula E is equal to V by D. E is equal to V by D. At the boundary, both E1 and E2, this is important. Now this is the boundary, right? It is like this. It is perpendicular to the plates, right? This is A1 plate, this side is A2. Then we have the dielectric boundary which is perpendicular to the A1 and A2 plates. If it is perpendicular, then what about the tangential component? The component which is tangential to the boundary, it is E1 and E2. E1 is on one side and E2 is on the other side of the boundary, right? So both these components are tangential to the boundary. It is, note that it is not tangential to the conducting plates. Tangential component to the boundary, which is grazing the surface, dielectric surface, it is E1 on one side and E2 on the other side. Okay, they are the tangential components, E1 and E2. Okay, now when we consider the tangential component in dielectric medium 1 as E1 and the tangential component E2 in dielectric medium with dielectric medium epsilon 2, okay, dielectric medium in the permittivity in one dielectric medium is say epsilon 1 and the permittivity in another dielectric medium is epsilon 2, and in medium 1, let us say the electric field intensity is E1 and in medium 2 the electric field intensity is E2, right? Now when they are on the same surface, same boundary, then E1 and E2 are equal, right? Like how we considered for deriving the boundary condition between conductor and free space or conductor and dielectric, and the boundary condition between dielectric and dielectric, two dielectrics. Okay, what we have considered there, the normal component is same, dn1 equal to dn2. Similarly here, E tangential component in one medium is equal to E tangential component in the other medium because they are lying on the same boundary, and hence E tan1 is equal to E tan 2. At the boundary, both E1 and E2 are tangential, and for dielectric interface, tangential components are equal. Hence, we can write E tan 1 is equal to E tan 2, that is equal to E1 equal to E2 is equal to V by D. We already got the equation for E. It is V by D. Tangential component in one medium is E tan 1, in another one it is E tan 2. Both are same. E tan 1 equal to E tan 2, that is equal to E1, that is equal to E2, and that is equal to V by D. Okay, so that is equal to E1. I am considering E tan 1 as E1, E tan 2 as E2, so that is equal to V by D. Now D1 is equal to epsilon 1 E1. D1, it is epsilon into E, epsilon 1 into E1. Okay, and D2 is epsilon 2 into E2, epsilon 2 into E2. Okay, so D1 is written as epsilon 1, E1 is V by D, V by D here above equation, V by D. It is written as D1 is equal to epsilon 1 into V by D by substituting. Similarly, substitute here in D2 is equal to epsilon to E2 for E2. E2 is also equal to V by D. Therefore, D2 is equal to epsilon to V by D. On the plate, the charge divided is equal, right? On the plate, the charge is divided into two parts. As I told, one is A1 part, another one is A2 portion. So the charge is divided equally between the two, or it is divided on plate A1 and plate A2. So the total charge will be the charge on plate A1 plus the charge on plate A2. That will be the total charge. Correct? If there is a charge Q1 on A1 and there is a charge Q2 on A2, the total charge will be Q1 plus Q2. Correct? On the plate, the charge is divided into two parts. On area A1, charge density is rho S1. On the area A1 here, charge density is surface charge density is rho S1. On area A2, the surface charge density is rho S2. Right? The charge density is rho S2 is equal to D2. Okay, on A1 plate, it is rho S1 equal to D1, and on plate which is with area A2, the charge density is rho S2 is equal to D2. Therefore, we have the total charge Q is given by Q1 plus Q2. Q1 is how much, friends? We know the equation for Q in terms of surface charge density. That is, surface charge density rho S is given by Q by A. Correct? Rho S is equal to Q by A, or Q is equal to rho S into A. Q is equal to rho S into A. So here we are getting rho S1 as rho S1, Q1 is rho S1 into A1 plus Q2 is rho S2 into A2. Rho S1 equal to rho S2, rho S1 is D1, so substitute that D1 into A1, and rho S2 is D2, substitute that plus D2 A2. Q is given by D1. What is equation for D1 we have got previously? Epsilon 1 V by D. Epsilon 1 V by D. Substitute that epsilon 1 V by D into A1 plus next for D2 epsilon 2 V by D. Epsilon 2 V by D into A2. Okay. Now C is given by Q by V. C is given by Q by V. We know the basic equation for capacitance. It is C is equal to Q by V. The above equation is for Q, that is epsilon 1 VA1 by D plus epsilon 2 VA2 by D. That divided by the potential, that is V. Now here V in the numerator and V in the denominator will get cancelled, and we get C is equal to epsilon 1 A1 by D plus epsilon 2 A2 by D. What is epsilon A by D, students? What is the equation for C1 here? Epsilon 1 A1 by D. So it is C1. Epsilon 2 A2 by D is C2. Hence I can write the final equation as C is equal to C1 plus C2. Right? This is the total capacitance when the dielectric boundary is normal to the two plates. Okay, when the dielectric boundary is normal to the two conducting plates, the equation for capacitance is given by C is equal to C1 plus C2. What about when the dielectric boundary is parallel to the conducting plates? The one that we discussed, yes, in the previous class. The dielectric boundary which is parallel to the conducting plate. This is the boundary in between here. Okay, this is parallel to plate 1 and plate 2. Correct? For this condition, the capacitance is C1 is equal to C is equal to 1 divided by 1 upon C1 plus 1 upon C2, capacitance equation. Now when it is dielectric boundary perpendicular or normal to the plates, then the capacitance equation is just C is equal to C1 plus C2. Okay. Is this derivation clear here, students? Any difficulty here in this derivation? Is it understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions here on this derivation? Any questions? I hope it is understood. Any questions, students? Yes, please. Any questions? No questions? Okay. Next derivation. So in examination, this may be asked. Derive the equation for capacitance for the dielectric boundary normal to the plates. The question may appear like this in examination. Derive the equation for capacitance when the dielectric boundary normal to the plates. Okay. Then next, energy stored in a capacitor. Consider the parallel plate capacitor. The area of each of the plates is A. The distance between the two plates is D. Let D be the distance between the two plates. And the medium in between the two plates has the permittivity of epsilon. Epsilon is the permittivity of the medium in between the two plates. Electric field intensity between the two plates is E bar. Okay. Then here there exists some capacitance in between the two plates. Correct. Then we are applying the potential or the voltage between the two plates. We are applying the potential or the voltage between the two plates. Does the capacitor store energy, students? Capacitor, does it store the energy? Yes or no? Capacitor, whether it stores the energy?
Yes, sir.
Of course, it stores the energy. Okay, fine. So capacitor is a storage element. It stores the energy, right? Here, AN bar is a direction normal to the plates. AN bar is a direction normal to the plates. Here we are writing the equation for electric field intensity again. E is given by V by D. That is, electric field intensity is potential per distance. Potential divided by distance, that gives the equation for electric field intensity. Correct? So E is equal to V by D. It is a magnitude. If you want a direction also, then we have to write the normal vector or the unit vector. That is, normal vector is AN bar, which is perpendicular to both the plates. This is a normal vector. Write it unit vector AN bar. This is the equation for the vector E. It has the magnitude as well as the direction. Take it as equation 1. Now, energy stored is given by the equation WE is equal to half volume integral d bar dot E bar dV. We have derived this equation when we are discussing about the work and potential or energy and potential at the beginning of this module. Yes or no? That is, WE is equal to half volume integral d bar dot E bar dV. This is the equation for the energy stored. Then half volume integral, this D I can express it as epsilon into E. Correct? D I can express it as epsilon into E. So it is half volume integral epsilon E bar dot E bar dV. Dot E bar dV. Now there is an identity. We have discussed about this identity in our previous classes. E bar dot E bar. If you dot any vector with itself, it will give you square of that vector. That is, E bar dot E bar. E bar dot E bar is equal to E bar square. E bar square. Hence, here E bar dot E bar will be E bar square. That is, half volume integral epsilon into absolute value of E bar square dV. dV. E bar dot E bar vector identity is a vector identity vector equation which gives that, or when we dot any vector with the same vector, then we get the square of that vector. This is a vector identity. Therefore, this is further equal to half volume integral epsilon E square dV. But we know E bar is equal to V by D. Magnitude of E bar is V by D. Substitute that. It is half epsilon. Instead of E, write it as V by D. Square it means we will get V square by D square. Correct? V square by D square. It is half epsilon. E is V by D. So it is V square by d square into volume integral dv, correct? But volume integral dv, this is total volume. If you want the total volume, then we have to multiply area with the width, area into distance, length into breadth into height. Area gives length into breadth, then if you multiply with the distance or the height, then we'll get the total volume of the capacitor element, correct? Therefore dv volume integral is nothing but a into d, that is area into distance. Okay, this gives the total volume. Instead of volume integral dv, substitute it as a into d. It is half epsilon v square by d square. Volume integral dv is ed. Substitute that. This is further equal to half epsilon. Then here d, 1d and 1d cancels, so you get epsilon a by d v square, correct? 1d in the numerator and 1d in the denominator will get cancelled. We will be getting half epsilon a by d v square, right? Now this is we is equal to half epsilon a by d is what is epsilon a by d? Yes, epsilon a by d is equation for what? Epsilon a by d. Epsilon into a by d is the equation for which parameter? Yes, please. Students, are you here? Sankalp?
Sir,
Epsilon a by d is the equation for which parameter? Yes, please. Ankita? Epsilon a by d gives the equation for which equation it is, which parameter? Epsilon a by d is the equation for anybody? Sania? Suraya Banu? Are you here, Suraya Banu? What happened? It is the equation for which parameter? Students, are you here? John? Epsilon a by d is the equation for which one? Kirti Patil? Vishal Vasulkar? It is the equation for, are you able to hear me or not? First tell me that. Students, are you able to hear me or not?
yes, sir.
Okay. I will tell the answer. Okay. So C is equal to epsilon A by D. Simple. Capacitance is given by permittivity into area divided by distance. We have derived this equation yesterday itself. Correct? So epsilon A by D, it is capacitance. So WE is given by, replace epsilon A by D by C. We will get WE is equal to half C into V square joules. Right? This is the amount of energy stored in the parallel plate capacitor. The energy stored in the parallel plate capacitor is given by E is equal to half CV square joules. Yes, remember this equation and its derivation, which may be asked in the examination. The question may appear like this on this topic. Have the equation for the energy stored in the capacitor. You'll have to draw the figure and derive the equation and get it as W is equal to half CV square joules. Next, energy density. Based on this energy stored in a capacitor, we will get the equation for energy density. Energy density is the energy stored per unit volume as the volume tends to 0. Energy density is the energy stored per unit volume. It is, note that, energy stored per unit volume as the volume tends to 0. This gives nothing but the energy density. Energy per unit volume as volume tends to 0. Therefore, WE, it is given by half epsilon volume integral E square dV. Right? That is the equation for WE. Here it is. We have already obtained that equation in the previous derivation. Half epsilon or half volume integral epsilon E square dV. Half volume integral epsilon E square dV. Okay. So take the same equation. W is equal to half epsilon volume integral E square dV. Yes. So WE is given by half epsilon, right? This is E square joules per meter cube. What about the volume, students? How much is the volume here? Here I am writing after this equation, W is equal to half epsilon E square joules per meter cube. That is the energy per unit volume. Okay. So what about the volume? If I integrate this volume, dV, I will get V. What is the value of V here? Volume equal to how much for this step? It is
0, sir.
equal to, it's not 0. Volume tends to 0, but what is the definition? See the definition. Energy density is the energy stored per unit volume. Volume may tend to 0 finally. Now you are piercing the balloon. Initially, there is some volume in the balloon. The volume will move in all the directions from the balloon, correct? But directly it will not go to 0. No, initially there is some volume, right? When you open the valve of the tire tube, when you open the valve of the tire, cycle tire, what will happen? The air will blow out in all the directions. It will diverge, correct? Immediately it will not go to 0. There is some air in the tire still. Yes. So the definition is energy density is the energy stored per unit volume. Per unit volume means volume equal to 1. Volume equal to 1. Hence, when I integrate this volume with respect to dV, I get V. Correct? I get V. But what is V here? V equal to 1. V equal to 1 because according to our definition, it is the energy stored per unit volume. It is on volume equal to 1 meter cube. So when V equal to 1, I substitute, I will get WE is equal to half epsilon E square joule per meter cube, which is the energy density. Okay, this is the equation for the energy density, right? Then D is equal to epsilon E or epsilon E, right? D is equal to epsilon E. We know this equation. From this equation, we can write WE is equal to half epsilon. This is D is equal to epsilon E. Based on this, I can write D square by epsilon, half into D square by epsilon, because D square is epsilon square E square. Epsilon square E square. One epsilon and one epsilon will cancel, and in the numerator it will remain epsilon E. Epsilon E square, sorry, epsilon E square. Okay. So I can replace this epsilon E square by D square by epsilon. Now I have epsilon in the denominator. Again, I will replace epsilon by D by E. Okay, I'll rearrange here. D is equal to epsilon E. Epsilon is equal to D by E. Epsilon is equal to D by E. So substitute that. So half D square divided by D by epsilon. Okay. D divided by epsilon is how much, friends? D by epsilon. Sorry, D by E. Epsilon is D by E. So D divided by D square divided by D by E is how much? D square, note down in your notebooks, D square divided by D by E. Tell me how much you'll get. D square divided by D by E. Tell me how much you'll get. D square divided by D by E. Yes, students, how much you're getting? D square divided by D by E. Tell me only this answer. D square divided by D by E. This step. What is the answer? D square divided by D by E. Sampath Kumar. Are you here, Sampath? how much you will get? D square divided by D by E. Janvi? Janvi? What is the answer you are getting? D square divided by D by E. Note down it. Yes, please. Come on, tell me. D square divided by D by E is how much?
D square divided by epsilon, sir.
One minute. See, now it is in the form of half D square by epsilon. What I am doing here is, instead of this epsilon which is in the denominator, I am substituting epsilon is equal to D by E. Okay, that is the step that I am doing here. Epsilon is equal to D by E. So D square divided by D by E will be how much? Only tell me the answer. Don't bother about half is there, epsilon is there. Don't bother about all those things. Tell me what is D square divided by D by E.
D into E.
D into E. Very simple. Very good. So it is D into E. D square divided by D by E will be D square into E by D cross multiplied. Correct? 1D and 1D will cancel. We'll get D into E. So that is what we are getting here. Half into D into E. Joules per meter cube. Okay. So it is half into D into E joules per meter cube. So this is the equation for the energy density. Final equation for the energy density is in terms of half D bar into E bar joules per meter cube. Okay. Understood here, students, this derivation? Any difficulty here in this derivation? For the energy stored in a capacitor and energy density. Any difficulty here? Anything not understood in this derivation? Yes, please. Anything not understood in this derivation? Can ask. If you are not understood, I will tell it once again. Yes, please. Was it understood? Students, understood or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Yes. So take this example, students. Let A is equal to 120 centimeters square. It is on the parallel plate capacitor. Whatever equation we have derived just now. Let A is equal to 120 centimeters square. D is equal to 5 millimeter. And epsilon R is equal to 12 for a parallel plate capacitor. Part A, calculate the capacitance. Part B, after connecting a 40-volt battery across the capacitor, calculate E, D, Q and the total stored energy. Next part, the source is now removed and the dielectric is carefully withdrawn from between the plates. Again, calculate E, D, Q and energy. Then fourth part is what is the voltage between the plates. Note down the problem statement, then we'll solve it step by step. Taken, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Read the statement. It's a simple problem. Let A is equal to 120 centimeters square. They have given the area of the plates. Distance between the plates is given as 5 millimeter. Relative permittivity is 12 for a parallel plate capacitor. They have asked to calculate first the capacitance. We know the equation for capacitance, that is C is equal to epsilon A by D. Substitute the values of epsilon naught, epsilon R, A and D. Epsilon naught is 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12. Epsilon R is given, that is 12 into A, area of the plates, 120 centimeters square. How do you convert centimeter to meter? Okay, 1 centimeter is 10 raised to minus 2 meters. Correct? 1 centimeter is 10 raised to minus 2 meters. So centimeter square means it will be 10 raised to minus 2 square. Yes, 10 raised to minus 2 square. It will be 10 raised to minus 4. Correct? 100 centimeter is 1 meter. Okay, 1 meter is 100 centimeter. Yes or no? Therefore, 1 centimeter will be equal to how much? 100 centimeter is 1 meter. 1 centimeter will be 1 by 100. That is 10 raised to minus 2 meters. Okay, so 10 centimeter square means 10 raised to minus 2 square. That will be 10 raised to minus 4. That divided by distance between the plates. That is 5 millimeter. 1 millimeter is 10 raised to minus 3 meters. Remember, 1 centimeter is 10 raised to minus 2 meters. 1 millimeter is 10 raised to minus 3 meters. Okay, so this will be 5 into 10 raised to minus 3. 5 into 10 raised to minus 3. So this comes out to 255 picofarad. Cross verify your answer, students. 255 picofarad you will get.
Yes, sir.
Getting good. Okay, let's move to the second part. After connecting a 40 volt battery across the capacitor, calculate EDQ, that is electric field intensity, electric flux density, and the charge, and the total stored energy. Okay, so C is given by Q by V. We know that C is equal to Q by V, or Q is equal to C into V. Q is equal to C into V. C is 255 picofarad, whatever we have obtained, that into voltage. They have given the value of voltage. After connecting a 40 volt battery, so V is 40, substitute that. So 250 to 10 raised 255 to 10 raised to minus 12 into 40. Calculate that and tell me how much you will get. Substitute the capacitance as 255 picofarad and voltage as 40. Multiply both and tell me what is the answer.
1.02 into 10 raised to minus 3.
Yes. So in terms of nanocoulomb, it will be 10.2 into 10 raised to minus 9. Correct. Yes. 10.2 nanocoulomb. Okay. Next, E is equal to V by D. We know that electric field intensity is voltage divided by distance. Voltage is 40 volts that they have given. That divided by distance is 5 into 10 raised to minus 3. Okay. Simple calculation. 40 divided by 5 into 10 raised to minus 3. Distance is 5 millimeters. How much is the answer?
8,000 volts per meter, sir.
Yes. In terms of kilovolts, it will be 8 kilovolt per meter. Good. Next, D is given by epsilon into E. We have found out Q, E. Next is D is remaining and stored energy is remaining. D is given by epsilon into E. Here they have given both epsilon naught and epsilon R. Both we have to consider for part B of the problem. Okay. So the equation will be in terms of D is equal to epsilon E, that is epsilon naught into epsilon R into E. Epsilon naught is 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12. Epsilon R is given, that is 12. That into E is 8 into 10 raised to 3 volts per meter, 8,000 volts. Okay. Simplify that. How much you'll get? Just calculate. Epsilon naught into epsilon R into E. And tell me how much you're getting. Answer.
Sir, 0.84.
0.84. Nice. So it is 0.84, approximately 0.85 microcoulomb per meter square. That micro you should not remove. otherwise the answer will be wrong. Please take care of it. 0.85 into 10 raised to minus 6 coulomb per meter square, or 0.85 microcoulomb per meter square. Next, energy stored in the capacitor. That is, W is given by half CV square, the derivation that we did just now. So half into C is known here, 255 into 10 raised to minus 12 capacitance value, voltage is 40. So half into 255 into 10 raised to minus 12 into 40 square. Half into 255 into 10 raised to minus 12 into 40 square. Tell me the answer. What is the answer you are getting?
Sir, 0.2 microcoulombs. Microjoules.
Right. Joules, correct. So it is 0.2 microjoules, or 0.204 if you take up till 2 digits or 3 decimal digits, 3 decimal places, then it will be 0.204 microjoules. Fine. This is the part B of the problem. Next is part C. What they are saying in part C is the source is now removed and the dielectric is carefully withdrawn from between the plates. Source is removed means whatever voltage that they were applying, 40 volt battery, that they are removing. Okay, even they remove the battery, what happens to the charge on the capacitor, whether it will remain or not? Surface on the surface of the capacitor, it will remain. Okay, because capacitor is a storage device. Okay, that's why they are making use of the capacitors in the circuits. Even after the source is removed, battery is removed, still the some surface charge is present on the plates, capacitor plates. Correct. So Q is present on the plates. That Q we have to calculate. It will be different now because Q earlier was with the potential applied. Okay, let us see what will be Q. Whether it is same or different, it will be same because whatever potential it has stored initially, it will remain there for certain amount of time until you discharge that capacitor. If you provide some ground path to that capacitor, then it will discharge to ground. Okay, until you provide that ground path for the capacitor, it will not discharge. It will hold that charge, whatever it has charged to that particular level. Okay, so Q will remain same, and dielectric is withdrawn from between the plates. That means there is no permittivity epsilon R now. Epsilon R is not present. They have withdrawn that medium from the in between the plates. Okay, only medium present is epsilon naught. That is the absolute permittivity that we have to consider. Okay, epsilon R we can consider it as air medium and it can be taken as 1. Okay, so these points we have to keep in our mind. And though source and dielectric is removed, Q on the surface remains the same. So Q is same as that of the previous one. That is whatever we have got here, Q is equal to 10.2 nanocoulomb. It remains the same. Q is equal to 10.2 nanocoulomb. What about the electric flux density? Here we have to know that electric flux density, we cannot use the equation epsilon naught into epsilon R into E. It will be incorrect if we use this equation epsilon naught into epsilon R into E, because epsilon R we don't know. It may be air medium with the relative permittivity 1. It is possible, but it is not correct to use this equation for part C of the problem. Then what equation we have to use? We can use the other equation, that is in terms of electric flux density, or rho S, that is given by charge by area. D is equal to rho S, that is equal to Q by A. Surface charge density is charge per area or charge by area. Okay, substitute that. We know the charge 10.2 into 10 raised to minus 9 divided by area is 120 into 10 raised to minus 4. It comes out to 0.85 microcoulomb per meter square. Okay, this is the electric flux density for the part C of the problem. Then find out E. Note down these steps, students. Then E is given by D by epsilon naught, because we know D is equal to epsilon into E. It is epsilon naught into epsilon R into E, but epsilon R we can assume it as air medium. So we get E is equal to D by epsilon naught, or D is equal to epsilon naught into E. Okay, so we know D here 0.85 microcoulomb per meter square, that divided by 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12. Check how much you are getting. D is 0.85 microcoulomb per meter square, that divided by 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12. Tell me the answer. Value of E, electric field intensity. Just cross verify your answers. E will get 96 kilovolt per meter. Okay, 96 kilovolt per meter, right? Then V is now not same across the plates. Potential will not be same because C is equal to Q by V. V is equal to Q by C, right? And C is equation is epsilon naught A by D, epsilon naught into epsilon R into A by D, but epsilon R is not present. Only we have C is equal to epsilon naught A by D. Epsilon R is 1. So C value is different now. When C value changes, V also changes. V is equal to C is equal to Q by V, or V is equal to Q by C. So what will be the equation? Let us calculate. W is given by half CV square, that is half C. V is Q by C, substitute in terms of Q by C square. So WE will be equal to half, this is C into Q square by C square. So one C in the numerator and one C in the denominator will cancel, we'll get half Q square by C, half Q square by C. Fine. Then C is epsilon naught into epsilon R into A by D, but epsilon R is 1, assuming as air medium. So epsilon naught into A by D, if you substitute the values of A, D and epsilon naught, the answer we'll get is this 21.249 picofarad. Please note down these steps, students, cross verify the answers. Then what about the WE? WE, we have found out C value here, and we know the charge Q. We have calculated the charge Q for part C of the problem. We also calculated the capacitance C. Substitute in this equation, that is W is equal to half Q square by C. Half into Q is 10.2 into 10 to the minus 9 square. That divided by the value of C. C is 21.249 into 10 to the minus 12. What is the answer you are getting? Just check your answers. WE value, you will get around 2.448 microjoules. Okay. Then finally, find the value of potential. They have asked the value of potential. V is equal to Q by C, or C is part D of the problem. Here, what is the voltage between the plates? Okay. So C is equal to Q by V, or V is equal to Q by C. Q, whatever we have obtained for part C of the problem, that we have to consider 10.2 into 10 to minus 9. That divided by C value, whatever we have obtained for part C is 21.249 into 10 to minus 12 picofarad it is. Okay. So if you simplify this, tell me the answer, students, how much you're getting. Are you verifying the answer, students? Are they right? 480 volts you will get here. Sankalp, getting the answers?
Sir, calculating, sir, once again.
Okay, take your time quickly.
Yes, sir, getting.
Getting? Good. Okay, fine. Vishal Vasulkar. Vishal,
Yes, sir, checking.
checking. Please check it. Do the cross verification. Harsh Gowda.
Yes, sir, getting.
Getting, no? Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Ankita, getting the answers? Ankita?
Yes, sir, getting.
Okay. Janvi?
Yes, sir.
Getting the answers, Janvi?
Yes, sir.
Answers. Okay, fine. Okay, students. Okay, students, any difficulty here in today's discussion? We have covered the topic on, we have started with the dielectric boundary, which is perpendicular normal to the plates. That was the first topic. And then we have covered energy stored in the capacitor, that is half CV square equation. And then energy density equation we have derived. And later we have solved an example on the energy stored in the capacitor. Okay. In the next class, I will be starting with module 3. That is, we'll start with the Poisson's and Laplace equation. That we'll take up in the next class. Thank you, students.